Hi, and welcome to Screens in Focus, the podcast where we talk about TV and movies. I'm Diana, and today we are talking about Daryl Dixon, Season 2, Episode 2, Moulin Rouge. Renee is back to join me. Hi, Renee. How are you doing today?
Yeah, hello, I'm doing very well. How about you?
I'm awesome. I can't wait to talk about this episode, and I
Me
don't
too.
know how you're feeling. So I like that. I like when
Yeah.
I we're going to go in and we're going to just cut to the chase here because we are going to talk about that kiss. Okay? That kiss that happened in this episode. So, and we're going to move our question of the day to later on in the episode. So that's how important
Mhm.
and how pivotal this moment is. So, and when I talk about the kiss, spoilers, so, get out of here if you don't want to hear about it. But it's the kiss between Daryl and Isabel. So I want to know, Renee, what you thought about it and were you surprised by it?
Well, first of all, I was surprised. You kind of see this something count going between them, whether it's romantic or not, you don't know, kind of thing. They got a lot of plans together. They got a lot of things they're working towards together. But as romantic, I don't know. I guess either way, I was like, it could go either way. But the kiss itself, yes, I was surprised by that. When I first watched the episode for the first time, I was like, oh my goodness, the fandom is going to implode. Because anytime Daryl's love life is the topic of things, everyone loses their ever loving minds. Good, bad, ugly, it's all there, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, we got to do this again, It's like Leah all over,
Yeah.
So my initial thing, I read, I just guess I thought, oh, they kissed. It didn't seem overly romantic to me. It didn't seem, a lot of people said, oh, it seems so forced. I didn't think it felt forced. I thought it felt so natural. Like it was just like, oh, okay, well, guess what? She's coming with me. So yeah, I'm going to lean in for this kiss.
I got chills. Okay, go ahead.
And so I just feel like it's these two people who are, they're just starting to care very deeply. What, again, I don't know that it's romantic, but Daryl's very inexperienced in this, like we know how many people Daryl's been with, and he just he's just inexperienced, and I kind of feel like he felt like, oh, I think this is something I should do, kind of thing, like I'm starting to care for her, and so maybe this is the next step, kind of thing. Still not 100% sure, maybe, and maybe he is, but to me it was more of it was innocent, I thought, like it was just this like, okay, well, here's this gal I care about. Yeah, I mean, everybody has their own opinions, but that's just kind of how. And I didn't
Yeah.
feel like it was
Yeah.
this whole thing where that moment, that kiss, announced Isabel and Daryl forever. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that
Yeah.
that's what they were
No.
trying to do. But
Yes.
people are. This is just lots of speculation, of course. Like I said, it's Daryl. Everyone's in on this, But I just feel like it was a what if kind of thing. Well, what if this could be more, and exploring that. And I just don't think this kiss cemented
Yeah.
anything with them.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are all worried about Carol. Well, Carol and Daryl, their relationship it doesn't fit a mold. They are their own thing. They have always had this, they're kindred spirits on another plane that the rest of us can't even understand. They will
Right.
always love each other. They will always care for each other. And that's been proven time and time again. They've had their disagreements. They've had, where they've separated, well, I'm going your way, my way, you go yours, kind of thing. But they always come back because they're Carol and Daryl, and it's one of those friendships that is everlasting, and it doesn't matter how much time has passed, and it doesn't matter, the circumstances they find themselves in, they come back together. And yes, it may be more than a friendship, but I never felt they were romantic either, But I know a lot of people want it to be that way. And,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and I just don't see this affecting Carol because, his relationship with Leah didn't affect Carol. You know what I mean? Like it
Yeah.
did on another
Yeah.
level, not the fact that he had a
Right.
girlfriend or whatever that,
Right.
you called her.
Yeah.
That part of it didn't affect, and, I just, the kiss I thought was nice. I thought it was very natural. a kind of a next step for Daryl, just because he kind of like, okay, let's see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I was surprised by
Mhm,
it. I wasn't expecting it. And yes, we had talked about in season 1, oh, are they
mhm,
feeling something for each other? We weren't sure. It kind of felt like it, but we didn't nothing had happened in that
mhm,
season. So here it comes this. It caught me off guard. I was like, "What?" But I too, I thought it felt natural to me, and
mhm,
it was it was kind of cool. I was like, because he just kisses her, or she kisses him, kind of like she leans in, and then they lean in for another kiss, which I'm like, ooh, when you're going for that second one, that's why I'm like, oh, that's just more than just like,
mhm.
oh, we're just kissing each other. The fact that they both went in for a second one, it was good. It was a good kiss. And I really like Isabel as a person. I don't know if I want her to be with Daryl. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know if I want that, but I wasn't opposed. It wasn't mad at it. Like, I
Yeah.
wasn't like, oh my God, she's not worthy, or anything like that. So that didn't come up, that didn't enter my brain because I like her as a
Yeah.
character and as a person, as an actress, all of
Mhm,
that. So I was more on Daryl, like, oh, he was feeling this. Oh, he was having these romantic feelings toward her, and this was happening for him. So I
mhm,
was like on his side, having these emotions for him over
mhm.
here. But I guess where my concern came in was I wasn't I don't think that Carol's gonna be upset about
Mhm,
it as far as a relationship, a romantic relationship. That's not how I took it anyway.
mhm,
I was more afraid as to how this might change Daryl's leaving to go with Carol or not. So that was
mhm,
my worry about that.
mhm,
Also, Carol's had relationships.
mhm. Yeah,
So and Daryl was fine with those. It's not like
exactly.
and for me personally, I kind of did want them together through all the years until it might have been the it might have been the last season or 2. I can't remember now when it shifted for me. I think maybe when also with him and Connie, there was that, "Oh, is
Mhm,
this gonna happen?" and such. So, I think I was starting to come to terms that this may truly just be a friendship that
mhm,
is just so, um so them. And I loved how you said, just because this happens and no matter what happens after that doesn't mean it's cemented. It could be
mhm,
something that they're going through. So they need each other right now.
mhm.
Maybe they
Yeah.
need this release of whatever this is, this
Mhm,
tension, this between them, or just the chaos that's happening
mhm.
in this
Yeah.
world, and them needing, something to hold on to. And so this doesn't mean that this is forever. This just means that this is what they're going through right now. So,
Mm.
but yes, a lot of people, oh man, I think they're up in arms about
Yeah,
it.
very
So,
much.
yeah, a lot of people on social media and such. So, I would love to read your article when it comes out, Renee.
Yes, I'm compiling an article of the fans react to the kiss, so it'll be a lot of fun to see all the different reactions.
I love it. I love it. I can't wait. Okay. So, in talking about Daryl and Laurent and Isabel and all of them and what's happening with them, what was a highlight for you or what stuck out to you with them?
I I really enjoyed the baseball. It was just fun.
Oh, yeah.
It was like Daryl, Daryl never had a father figure, or a positive role model. And so he's trying to be that for Laurent, who is only being taught what the nest wants him to learn, and Daryl
Yeah.
wants to make sure that he's got some fun knowledge like baseball and some, survival skills and things. And so I'm really enjoying their dynamic. And it's kind of reminds you of, how he is with Judith and RJ and,
Yeah.
Judith mostly because he's been around her longer,
Yes.
but, he's always Uncle Daryl to everybody, and it's just fun to see that even though he's very, very far away from his family, he's finding, that something he's very good at. He's really good with the kids and things. And so I
Yeah.
just really enjoyed that. It was a lot of fun and kind of that little family dynamic they got going on there, and
Yeah.
So yeah, I really enjoyed that. And I feel like, I feel like Isabel and Daryl are, they have a common mission, and that is to do whatever's best for Laurent,
Mhm.
because they can see some things, before they find this stuff out. They're like,
Yeah.
they can both feel something's not, it's not right. They know something's up. And so it's really, they know that they need to, come together to protect him, whatever that looks like, whether being this destiny everyone thinks he has or not, whatever the best for him is. And so, I think that's been really interesting to see the two of them come together with that. And then, yeah, the Union of Hope, man, they've just kind of gone off the rails. It's one of those things where, you always find these groups and you just
Yeah.
know something, you think, oh, it's going to be a good one this time. And nope, here we are again. And
Yeah.
one thing that I can't think of the girl's name, the one that talks to Lo Sang all the time.
Yes, and I read her name. I
I,
thought I had committed it to my
me
memory,
too.
and now it's gone, and it
Yeah,
had, like, I can't remember her name
I
now.
know. I feel like it started
Yeah.
with J.
Yes, yes, because I thought to myself, "Is it silent or do you say the J?"
Yes.
Right? Because
Yeah.
I'm like, "What's her name?" It's like,
Yeah.
I don't even know what her
So I,
name is,
I
but
wonder if she's answering to somebody else. I almost feel like she's being fed information, and that could just be me reading too much into everything. But when she says things, sometimes I feel like she's getting this from someone else to pass on to him,
Mm,
whoever
yeah.
that person is, so there could be something else. But anyway,
Mhm.
yeah. So that was kind of my overall with Daryl. Again, I felt like this was a little bit more even. We got to see more of
Yeah,
Daryl than we did the first episode, which we expected that to be Carol heavy. She's come back. We have to see a lot of her.
yeah.
So yeah, so I just felt like it was overall, we're learning a lot more about the Union of Hope and all this, that what they're trying to do in their ceremony, and it's starting to get really crazy. And I think the next episode's going to be, you know,
Even
really
more.
interesting. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, you had talked about Laurent
Hmm.
and Daryl's relationship, and I wanted to comment on that because, yes, that is so sweet. I love when he returns, Laurent running up to him.
Hmm.
Can't wait to be around him. He gives him his carving, and Daryl thinks, "Oh, this is the best thing." And I thought the same thing, how Daryl's reaction to Laurent reminded me of like his relationship with Judith, and he just really cares for him so much. And I just think it's so special and so sweet and so great for Laurent also,
Yeah.
right? And so just, but of course, with that, yes, we have these religious zealots that are obsessed. It blows my mind, but I know this happens. This happens where people are more concerned about what something appears to be or proof of something, and you forget about how that impacts people, or because
Hmm.
they're not even worried about the poor kid. They just want to show what that is gonna prove, because they
Hmm.
want the kid to be bit and
Hmm.
shown that he doesn't turn into a zombie, a walker, that he is so special that he can not be affected by that. And that's what that
Hmm.
whole ceremony is, which reminded me a little bit of Fear the Walking Dead, right? When they were infecting
Yeah.
the people. But anyway, so I'm like, wow, people just go off the rails with their, needing to prove or have faith or whatever it
Hmm.
might be. So this entire test of faith is twisted, so twisted with these people. And I've seen it in recent movies too. And I'm sure it's based a little bit on reality, unfortunately, because people do crazy things. But, and also because I was saying how Daryl is in the way. So
Yeah.
because Laurent is wanting to be with Daryl and emulate Daryl and be everything about Daryl and such, that they're like, okay, no, Daryl's got to go.
Hmm.
So let's put in this play. And I mean, we all knew, I think, that
Yeah.
when you see him give him the wrong, or we all suspect it's the wrong ammo that's going
Hmm.
in the gun. And then when Isabel and Falou were going with them, I knew that was like, oh, they didn't want them to go, but it's
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
they're all going. And I loved how Sylvie found out about she recognized that they were making food that looked similar to what they feed
Yeah.
Laurent, and she's like, but just she kept going and going. I'm like,
Yeah.
man, that place is big
It is. Yeah. Yeah. It was.
for her
Yeah.
to have to
That was
keep
really cool
going.
to watch her. But she's, she's very intuitive, and she's taking care of Laurent for how long? She was at the Abbey with them the
Yeah,
whole time. And so she's,
true.
she's got that bond with him, and she's going to do whatever she can too to protect him.
I just didn't want her to get hurt.
I know.
I'm worried about her well-being.
Oh, yeah.
So hopefully she'll be okay.
Hmm.
And just like Falou, because I thought he
Hmm.
might die in this episode too, because when they
Hmm.
were attacking the three
Yeah.
of them and Emil wasn't helping him, which I already knew something was up with him too. I'm like,
Oh,
why
yeah.
is he acting that way? And then I knew. It took
Hmm.
me a minute for at first because I thought,
Hmm.
what's
Yeah.
going on with him? But yeah, he drank the juice.
Hmm.
That's what he did. So a lot is happening there now about Carol and Ash because so much happened with them because their plane does land in Greenland and they happen upon these people, these environmentalists that are very strange. It was so interesting to see these people because just they were really good at it. They were really
Yeah.
good at the roles because I kept saying, "Why do they seem odd?" Before they even took them back to the place, I could just tell the sense there was something very odd about them. So tell me what you thought about this part.
Well, I thought that first of all, they landed in Green, and I was like, land in Greenland, and it's like, okay, well, at least they're trying to give us a rational explanation how this journey even came about or it was possible in this. So I'll give them, some
Yeah.
kudos for that, I guess. But when the people came for it, it was like they're too happy. They're too. I mean, I understand they're a little punchy from probably not being around other people, but yeah, there's something weird going on here. I didn't think that they were going to proposition Ash, but didn't see that one coming. But I guess
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
you're the last two people in Greenland, you're thinking, how are we going to populate the Earth? So
Yeah.
so that was bizarre. But I thought it was interesting, though. I like how they put these weird things like this because there's somebody out there that
There
would be their
is.
thing. That would be
Absolutely.
so I love that
Yeah.
they take these kind of weird side stories and that you're like, what's happening? But I love it because it is, there's, the
Yeah.
end of the world, that's going to be someone's main concern is not
Right.
survival for themselves. It's making sure there's more
Yeah.
humans on the planet,
Yeah.
So, I thought it was very interesting. And yeah, it was, I don't know. I loved the bog walkers, though. That was cool as anything when those start coming out of the ground and they're all like,
Yes.
when they got
Whoa.
back to the earth and yeah, kind of thing. And so, yeah, there's Greg Nicotero talks a little bit about the bog walkers, is what he called them in the episode Insider at the end of the episode.
What does he call them?
Bog, BOG,
Okay.
because that's kind of a boggy area kind of thing. And I
Ah,
think there was bog people that archaeologists had dug up, I think is what but if you
ah.
watch at the end of the episode, they have the episode Insider. Greg Nicotero does touch a little bit about those walkers, so it was pretty interesting. So yeah, I loved those. I thought that was really just another fun little tidbit to add to it. But anyway, yeah, but these gals, yeah, they were a little crazy and all that, and they at least got away. They were able, I thought it was miraculous too. They also had the exact thing that Ash needed to fix the plane.
I know.
And they didn't have to dig for it. Wow, he just had it laying right there on the counter. It was convenient. So just a little, and I think I obsessed too much of the timeline and of the, because that was my other thing at the time, like the timeline and these little logistical things. It's like they don't even matter.
Ah,
But the
yeah.
timeline too, I'm like, how long has this been? I don't know how long that takes to do that, and everything. So that's just me. I think I just need to get over those things and just move on. But anyway, just like Carol, she continues to have the upper hand, of course. She's calling the shots. They get to France and she's, you stay here because she doesn't know what
Yeah.
she's doing. She's just wandering the streets trying to find something, a clue, a person, anything. So I normally does not bother me when Carol does what Carol does. But this, I think because the majority of the time it's against somebody that's very vile. It's a villain. It's an evil
Yeah.
person. And she's manipulating these people and she's doing these things to those type of people. But Ash is just such an innocent. He's just this, grieving father who feels like, hey, that was my kid. He tells the gal that in Greenland, if it was my kid, I'd do this, kind of
Yeah.
thing. And he's like, if there's even a chance that my kid would be alive, I'd do this,
Yeah.
and it's just so frustrating to see. I know why she's doing it. It's Daryl. Yeah, I'd save Daryl too, but it's just, I'm having a lot of trouble processing this because he's just so kind and he's so willing to help her, and he's thinking of this as a father, and so
Yeah.
it's very difficult for me for some reason. And normally I'm like, go Carol, doing all
Yeah.
the things she does, but not this time. I'm really having a lot of trouble. And then of course, her falling in to Janae's group.
Right.
I'll let you talk more about that, but well, my gosh, it just that's scary stuff, especially after the final scene in this episode.
Yes, exactly. So the people in Greenland, Hannah and Ian, so okay, we already knew something was going to happen to her, but when she picked up that crossbow, and I saw that Carol picked up something, I really wasn't sure
Mhm,
what she picked up, but I knew it was something probably to defend herself because she was going to like,
mhm.
where are we going with this? And then of course she points it at her and Carol talks her down, but Carol legitimately looked a little concerned there, but of
Yeah,
course she knew how to talk her down. We'll take you with us and you'll
yeah.
have another life, and you can go on. And then of course then we see the other one with Ash saying what she wants. But I wanted to know, and Ash's face is like, what the
Yeah.
heck? Yeah, what's happening? But I want to know what made her leave. What made her leave Ash, and Ash didn't like follow her. You know what I mean? Because
Mhm.
I'm sure he's like, oh, they're gonna go kill Carol. And would she say, oh, wait here, let me go make sure she's dead? So there was kind of a weird, like,
Yeah.
what happened? Why did she come back?
Mhm. Because I was
Uh
surprised, yeah, because we just saw her come back to the little bunker or
yeah,
whatever.
all by herself. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
what
what
happened there?
was her
Yeah.
reasoning
Mhm.
of leaving? I mean, did she have her way with Ash and we don't know it? I don't know. I don't know what happened. But yeah, so it was just she's well, because
Yeah.
she says, "I held up my end. What
Yeah.
about
Oh,
you?"
yeah.
I'm like, "What does that mean?
Yeah. I
What
we'll just
happened?"
yeah, we'll let that one go.
Yeah. So, and then of course she walks her over, and then Ash fires the flare gun, and then she's down on the ground. Of course, I'm saying, "Shoot her in the head. Shoot her
Yeah,
in the
no
head."
kidding.
My first thought
I
all the
know.
time. Anytime anybody gets killed, it's like, shoot him in the head. Don't just leave him there. But anyway, yes. So then they take off, go to France. Now, I thought, see, I had a different, I didn't think about this. You may very well be right. I thought that Carol told Ash not to come with her because she doesn't honestly want him to get hurt,
Mhm,
because she feels guilt that he already had to
mhm,
shoot somebody
mhm,
for her. And she's like, shit, I don't want to be
mhm.
responsible
Yeah,
for him.
could
That's
be, it
what
could be.
I was thinking. I
Mhm.
wasn't that. It was like, oh no, you stay here so you can find me out. Of course, that serves her. That
Yeah.
serves her. So I'm
It could be
sure
a
it's,
little both,
I think it's a
Yeah.
little bit of both.
But no, that
Exactly.
makes sense. I didn't think of it that way. I just thought she was like, "You just stay here while I go figure out what I'm doing." But that makes good sense though, because I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think she wants him to come to harm. I don't think that at all. It's just I'm just having
Yeah.
trouble with how her process, I guess, So I don't think she wants him to be hurt or anything. So that could very well be more of what she was trying to do than what I was thinking.
Or it could just serve both. Like we said,
Yeah.
it's just probably a little both, right? It's just she doesn't want him hurt. And let's not find out what I'm
Yeah.
really doing here right now,
Because
because
I'm flying by the seat of my pants here. I don't know
exactly.
where.
And I don't want you. I really do think she really cares about him, though. I really
Yeah.
do. And I really don't think she wants him hurt. Plus,
Hmm.
she wants to get home. If something
Yeah.
happens to him,
Yeah.
how
How
is
are
he
they getting
going
home?
to get back? So she needs him to be good
Yeah.
and stay here. And, she's like, oh, stay here for 2 weeks. I'm like, well, he's got to eat and
Yeah.
get stuff. I don't know what's going to happen here. But it was nice to see Carol, see the Eiffel Tower, see France and the
Mhm.
music playing in the background and her walking, toward the city
Yeah.
to
Hmm.
get there. So I thought that was, kind of cool. And then And then, yes, so she happens upon what is happening here. And I love when Carol does all this because she's like, oh, there's some food. Let me go grab some. Oh, let me make a hole in this
Yep.
grain so
So
that
I
it
can
can,
find out where he's
so
going.
I can find out where it's going. Yeah. And then she follows him. Now, I was surprised. I was surprised that she gave up her weapon. I'm like, what
Yeah.
is she doing? Why is she doing this? I just thought that was, I wasn't expecting that of
Yeah.
her. I'm like, why are you giving up your weapon? So maybe everybody was to get into this
Yeah. I
square that
think
they
they
were
were checking
at.
him there, but I mean, it's still uncharacteristic for Carol. I agree. She would have found some way to get around it, I think.
But I thought that it was pretty ballsy of her
Hmm.
because Carol's all, you know what? I don't need the weapon. I'm going to
Yeah.
rely on me because I can get myself out of almost anything. And
Yeah.
she just, flies by the seat of her pants. She really
Hmm.
does. So, which is what I love about her because she's like, I'll figure it out.
Oh,
I'll figure it out,
yeah. There'll be
And see if
something I
she
can use for a weapon.
Yeah, and if she had Ash with her, she wouldn't have been able to do
Yeah.
this. So I just think
100%.
he's too green.
Yeah.
It's like, "Stay back here. Take care of the plane. Do your plane stuff. Let me go handle this. I gotta go
I'll be
find
back
Daryl
in
and
two
I'll be
weeks.
back." Yeah.
Yeah.
So then she gets captured by Janae's people, and she's in the vehicle with the one guy who hears her speaking English. And of course, that one guy's all, "Where are they taking my friend?" And it's like,
Yeah.
"They're taking your friend to be a
Yeah.
test subject or
Yeah.
something." But yeah, so let's talk about the other people, the villains, Janae, and any further relationships that you want to talk
Mhm.
about. What stuck out to you?
Yeah, she is turning out to be quite the villain. So it's pretty cool to watch her, like kind of peel back her layers and kind of see more of what, I still don't quite understand her end game, like what she
Yeah.
wants from her revolution, I mean, and maybe I missed that in earlier episodes and things. I'll have to go back and look for sure to see what their stance is and what,
Yeah.
because I still don't quite grasp that and I could have just missed it. But yeah, she is a dangerous woman and I feel like she is just willing to do whatever, anything, obviously, too. Because I think it's Cadrone. I can't remember how you say it for sure, the French.
Oh,
But I had
yes.
said last week, I think on our podcast, I said that guy, I can't think of his name. You know the one.
Yes.
My brain, I totally lost him. That's who I was speaking of. And there he is in the torture chair.
I wanted to ask you. I I wasn't 100% sure it was him because I didn't see his
Hmm.
tattoo on his face.
Yeah, it's him. It was all bloody. Yeah, it's him.
Because I thought that should be him, and then
Yeah,
they show
because
the pocket
he has the
watch
pocket
and all
watch. Yeah.
that.
Hmm.
Yes, so I'm like, "Wait, that has to be him, but why don't I see the tattoo on his
I think that whole
face?"
side of his face was just blood. Yeah, I think I saw it in one
Yeah.
thing or whatever, but yeah, that was definitely him. And so, we know he ticked her off in the last season
Yeah, I think yeah.
for letting everybody go and all that. So now she's, trying to find out where they are. And I
Well,
mean,
how'd
I
she
don't,
find out
how'd she find out what?
that
What?
he did that he let him go, that he let Daryl and Isabel and all them go? He just I mean, how would he really
I
know?
think she talked like she said, I think it was kind of one of those, oh, that's strange. They escaped kind of thing. And then it was kind of revealed. I
Mm,
don't know if he said it or if someone else gave it. I don't know for sure. But yeah, I
uh,
mean, he was with
okay.
her, and she was questioning him and his loyalties and
Okay,
all that at the end of last season. And I guess I don't remember the
I
exact, if
yeah.
I almost felt like she wiggled it out of him,
He
like, oh,
probably yeah, he probably didn't deny it either.
yeah, I
You know
think
what I
that's kind
mean?
of
He
what
probably
yeah.
just
Like she's like,
yeah,
that's odd. They got all escaped, kind of thing. And so I kind
yeah,
of feel like it was something like that. And then she's like, okay, well, you know where
yeah.
they are. And so it'll be interesting to see what he does because he does know where they are, right? I mean, like he saw that. I mean, because he has the pocket watch, and he looked at the image and figured it out. I think at the end. See, I
Yeah.
have to go back and look because I think he did figure it out. So I don't know why he would protect them if he just felt. I mean, I know he protected them. I think because Laurent's a child. I think that's a big part of it
Yeah.
was that he didn't want to kill a child, you know. But I don't know what else because they're in one of the trailers or teasers or whatever for this season. We do see him on the street. Like a drone is in like a jacket, like, a coat, like a almost uniformish type thing, and he's on the street. So I don't know. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see
How
if
he gets out and what
or
happens
or
to
do they
him.
yeah are they do they pump him full of some medicine stuff and make him go out, and I don't know. I mean, just it's just crazy how all the things that they're
True.
experimenting with, do they do something to him and make him go out? And I don't know. So it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, I was shocked to see that. I mean, of course, I don't have a problem with the brutality and the gore and things like that. But I
Yeah.
think a lot of people were, like, whoa, here we are. What's happening? Because it hasn't been that bloody, or, we haven't seen a whole lot of guts and things in the Daryl Dixon series.
And also, yeah, human to human doing, in
Right.
that
Yeah.
way, somebody actually torturing another human being because they want something. So Madam Genet, man, she's just increasingly more and more dangerous. So it's kind of
Mhm.
crazy, which is great, right? Because we
Mhm.
get all excited, not because we like her, but because it's just all the more that when she gets it, we're going to
Yeah.
enjoy it all the
When
more.
Carol gets her, that's what I hope.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and when you were talking about Cadrone being possibly, how does he get away? Maybe Carol helps him somehow.
Yeah.
Maybe because doesn't he say Dixon or something like that? So
Somebody
she
does.
probably hears him. And so then
That's
she's like, oh,
Mhm.
Daryl, let me get you out of here because you need to
Oh,
help me
yes.
find him.
Because he's
So,
like, yeah, like the next in the preview for the next episode, he's like leaning up against a wall, like maybe in a
yes,
prison, and
yes,
says something in Dixon.
yeah,
Yes, you're right.
yes,
So yeah,
yeah.
okay. Interesting.
Carol does
Yeah,
it. She's
it's
looking
always
at,
Carol.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I love it. She always has herself in the right place at the right time because she knows how to put on those personas and
Yeah.
whoever she needs to be to get whatever she needs to get. So, oh man, and so also I saw like a lot of faith and
Hmm.
relationships in this, and of course we've already talked about the union of hope,
Hmm.
and they're just obsessed with doing what they need to do for faith. They think
Hmm.
that this is what they need to do to show their faith and
Hmm.
for their all the followers to not
But
abandon and have an uprising.
but what's the end game? Okay, so say they do the ceremony with Laurent. He doesn't get affected.
Yeah.
What's next? I mean, it doesn't mean that, I know they always talk about, oh, they can use, if he's immune, they could use the blood. That's not a guarantee anywhere that will
Right.
work. Nobody's ever proven, because they've never had a person for sure be unaffected. You know what I mean? Like, so I never understand what the end game is.
I think, well, while that is going to help everybody, I don't think because it's so faith ridden for them, I don't really think it's the cure part. I think
Hmm.
that they are just like, we need to show that he is
Hmm.
divine. He is
Yeah.
divine somehow. And this will prove it. And then everybody will follow and you know,
Yeah.
everybody will know how important this is because I mean, I think you watched it, right? When watching the Vikings show.
Just
Um,
not all of it, but some of it. Yeah.
okay. They are so the both of them on their gods, the Christian
Hmm.
and the Vikings. It is everything about their gods. They
Hmm.
do everything for their gods. Like
Yeah.
it is like life or death. It is honor. And so it is so important. So I think here that's what that woman
Hmm.
wants. She wants to prove to people, look what we believe in. It's tangible. Look,
Hmm.
this child has it because again, he is the divine one
Hmm.
and we're proving it to you. See this miracle that's happening? So
Hmm.
I think for her, now I think it might be other things for everybody else because everybody else would be like, wow, a cure. Great. Let's take this kid, get his blood
Yeah.
and maybe it has some antidote to what is happening. But
Hmm.
yeah, it's going to be so interesting to see how this all plays out. But back into the relationships, I also
Hmm.
wanted to talk about Daryl and Isabel and Carol and all of their relationship
Hmm.
because they all have a lot of faith in each other too. Because Daryl kissing Isabel, we haven't seen him be quite this vulnerable before.
Hmm.
Yes, there was Leah, but why do I feel like that's different for some reason? I don't know. It just felt different to me than this does. And I mean, he was very vulnerable there too. But I just think that he is showing a vulnerability and that he has to trust her. He has to trust her with Laurent on her judgment. And I mean, because even though she's a nun now, Daryl kissing a nun, that's so funny.
Hmm.
But she's been on the streets. She's been on drugs. So she's
Mhm.
pretty street savvy too,
Yeah.
right? She's not just this pure
Mhm.
angelic person. So, yeah, so I think that there's a lot of trust within their relationship. And I also think with Daryl and Carol, even though they're not, haven't seen each other yet, both of them have trust in their
Mhm.
relationships of what those mean to each of them. And Carol continuing to look for him at any
Mhm.
cost. Can you
Yeah.
imagine a friend coming? If you had a friend and they're like, I'm coming to get you, I'm coming to France. I mean, he doesn't know this, but still, that's just
Mhm.
such a big leap of faith to go to another country. And
Yeah,
it's
that's
all
huge.
that, trust and faith
Mhm.
on that
Yeah.
relationship. So yeah, so it's just that's what I saw
Mhm.
in as a theme throughout this.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That kiss, I don't know. I don't know what it's gonna do with the dynamics here. I'm really eager to see what that means for all of them. Will it
Mhm.
complicate, will it make things better? I don't know. So was there any other tidbits or surprises or anything else you wanted to bring up about the episode?
I was surprised, Ash, that that was his first human kill. I mean, all these years, and I know he had his compound where he stayed pretty safe and whatever, but he had to encounter people at some point, So it was very interesting that
Yeah.
he was kind of on his Morgan journey where he's not going to kill
Yeah.
people and kind of thing, which, it would be tough. I mean, even, look back at like Glenn. When did, it was a long time before Glenn killed his first
Yeah.
human. It's just one of those things that's, it's not easy for anyone, but
No.
some people, man, they just, yeah. So it was, yeah. So I thought that was really an interesting little bit of information about him. And yeah, I thought it was a decent episode. I would, it was, and I guess other surprises, I guess just with those Greenland people, that was definitely a surprise.
Yeah.
The whole situation was a surprise.
Yeah.
So I guess the, Ash, his first kill, the Greenland people, and then the kiss, I think were my surprise moments in
Yes.
this episode.
I totally agree. Those are mine too. I'm all looking at my notes. I'm like, oh yeah. So yeah, it's just that flare gun kill that was
Oh yeah, that was cool.
surprising, and it being his first kill. And that kiss, yep, I was surprised with that. And I think just Carol giving up her gun, I was a little bit surprised about
Yeah,
that too.
that
So
was when you mentioned that. That was, yeah, I was like,
yeah.
oh yeah, that was a surprise.
All right. So I want to get to our question of the day, because it is about that kiss. And that's why I waited till we talked about it
Yeah.
all. And so I want to know if Daryl is destined to leave with Carol, or has his journey taken a turn with Isabel.
My answer is, why does it have to be an either or situation? What if they all leave together? We know season 3 is going to be set and filmed in Spain. Something's happening. Someone's going there. We don't know who. who,
Yeah.
who will survive. There's a lot of,
Yeah.
there's still several episodes left. There's 4 episodes left. Lots of things can happen. But I guess, in my opinion, it doesn't have to be an either or situation. He has asked Isabel and Laurent to come with him to
Yeah.
keep them both safe, to keep especially Laurent safe, because they know this is not a safe situation for him. These people, want to do crazy things to him. And so he's going to do what he can to protect him. He doesn't know Carol is right there. She's, very close right now, and, right compared to where she, in the US. And there's no reason that all 3 of them, or 5, whatever, 4 of them, and maybe Ash, I don't know, all could go together.
Yeah.
They obviously couldn't all go to the plane, but someone's going,
Mm.
yeah, and tie them onto the wing. I don't know. They did that in there was
Ooh.
the Mummy. They did that in the Mummy. But anyway, but I feel like this could definitely be a situation where Carol finds Daryl. Daryl's like, hey, I've got these 2 people. Carol's like, of course they're coming with us because that's what they do. And
Yeah.
maybe Ash, too, if he's still around, if it's not 2 weeks and he left. And I could see them all journeying to Spain together for whatever's next.
This question is hard for me, but I think that yes, they will all go together, because, and I only think that because she has to shift now because they've just tried to kill Daryl. And she's like, wait, this isn't the place that I thought it was.
Yeah.
But unless something else
Mhm.
changes on the faith level, or if this place needs them. But like you said, we know that they're heading to Spain, so it makes me feel like either Laurent and Isabel will end up staying here because they'll have a purpose
Mhm.
that they need to stay. Otherwise, I think they can go with them.
Mhm.
So, woo, okay, that did this kiss change things? That's
Mhm.
the
Yeah,
basic
yeah,
question. Did this
absolutely.
kiss change things?
Mhm.
I think it did, but I think the hard part would be if Isabel says, I'm not going to go with you. Why don't you just stay? And
Mhm.
Laurent says that to him. And then Daryl will have to make a decision.
Mhm.
Daryl will have to say, okay, I need to stay here now, or no, I need to go home. And that's going to be the hard part. I don't know what's going to happen. So let's hope that doesn't happen. This kiss really did do something, I think. I mean, in people's minds anyway. I
Yeah.
mean, whether it'll do anything in the story, I don't know. But I don't know. What do you guys think out there? We want to know, what did this kiss do? Did it change Daryl's direction here? Is he going to leave with Carol, or is it going to pivot? We want to know what you think. So let us know here on YouTube or on social media, or you can call us at 669-223-8542, because this is a really important question and we want to know what you have to say about it. All right. We are at our segment, and the award goes to. So I want to know, with all this that happened, Renee, who does your award go to? What was your favorite quote, character, or moment?
I'm gonna go back to those bog walkers because I thought that was just really a cool scene, and I thought it was just, it's always exciting to see these, the creators of these series to just like reinvent the undead every time we turn around. They, change them to fit the environments they're in. They change them to fit all these new locations, and so it's just a lot of fun to see this. The Walking Dead has always been, a pioneer in how they've done this. With
Yeah.
Greg Nicotero, in charge of all this. Him and his group are just phenomenal,
Yeah.
and so I just loved that. I thought it was great. They were popping up out of the ground and everything, and yeah. So I just thought that was a really cool scene. So that's what I'm giving my award to.
I screamed. I believe I out loud, like I screamed when when they were coming out, like grabbing Carol's, feet, legs, and then the other part, and she's like, Ash, Ash.
Yeah.
I was screaming. I'm like, ah, like out loud, like
Yeah.
high pitched scream. Oh my goodness. So I just thought that was really scary. Okay, so I'm having a really a hard time because it's two different moments, and of course one, the kiss. Okay, I'm sorry. The kiss is, and again, it's because of Daryl. Seeing Daryl in that mode, or that just being so vulnerable and actually kissing someone and receiving a kiss. I don't know. I just think it's a really big moment for him. And so I feel that for him. But then also, the other thing was Ash and his relationship with Carol. Because to me, he really, it, to have his first kill be for a person that he just
Mhm.
met, I think that it just meant a lot. That was huge.
Yeah.
Something that he did, wasn't even for him or his child or anything. It was
Mhm.
for somebody else that he just met, and to be able to do that for another human being,
Mhm.
it's very special. I mean, it's not special to kill somebody, but
Yes,
it's
but no, I'm.
special to do something because you value that person that
Mhm.
so much,
Yeah.
and that friendship. And it happens to be one of our people that he did it for. So I just thought that was pretty special. So sorry, I'm not picking just one, you guys. I have
But
to pick two.
I
So
think that's fine.
yeah. So what do you take away from this episode? What did you think overall of this episode, and what are you anticipating for the next episode?
Well, I thought I just feel like this season isn't as dynamic as the first, and maybe because the first is always more exciting or something. But it's kind of I guess I want to see more. I mean, we're seeing a lot though. I don't know. Sometimes I'm just, like I said, I'm just too picky about things. But anyway, I think seeing that final scene with the torture chair, I think that is eye opening to the measures that Janae will take to do what she needs to do. She
Yeah.
is brutal. And she's got this army of, we don't know, I guess, I don't remember if we've ever heard a number of how many people she has in her group, but a lot. You know what I mean? Like and
Yeah.
they're listening to her, they're taking orders from her. And with her, this torture obviously was her idea, and, putting him in there. I just think that's going to be, that's going to really, it's going to change things with her and her pursuit of finding Laurent and Daryl and Isabel and everybody at the nest. So I think it's going to get pretty exciting here when she starts really branching out here and doing this. And, and I just think that, I want to see what happens with Ash. That's another thing I'm really, are we going to ever see him again? Because a lot of times, we've had the series where it's left to, okay, we don't know what happened to that character, and that could easily happen because Carol could maybe not circle around to, it might not be within her power to serve. Maybe they have to flee to Spain. There could be all kinds of
Yeah.
reasons. So I worry we'll never see Ash again because I really want to see more of him, but
Yeah.
we'll see what happens there. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a good episode. And I'm just really excited to see what happens. And then, how long do we have to wait for this reunion? The ones who live, we got it, in episode 2? So here, I kind of feel like this one's going to take a little longer. I feel like it'll be towards the end of the season. So it'll be, yeah. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
So I actually really love this episode more so than the first episode,
Mhm.
is what I mean. I thought it was more exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I felt it really moved forward. It just Carol, the fact, like I said, she was so left to her own devices. The fact that she put her weapon down and that woman grabbed it and she was
Mm-hmm.
still able to convince her not to do it. And then she puts her weapon down again and she's not even afraid. Like
Mm-hmm.
she's just like, okay, we're going somewhere. Let me just
Yeah.
assess what's happening next and go. It's so amazing to see Carol. And it makes me excited because I love her personality and how she is. So I love seeing all that. I've said it a million times already now, but the whole kiss and Daryl he's just we haven't seen this. So here we see this from him.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, when are they going to reunite? I was hoping it would be next episode. How much further can they? I mean, I guess maybe that's part of it. The thing is, though, if Daryl knew that Carol was around, then that would put an urgency in him,
Oh
but
yeah.
he doesn't know yet. So we don't feel that yet. Where Carol, she's going to learn of Daryl Dixon's name, I believe, in this next episode. We'll be anticipating what's going to happen. I'm looking forward. I want to know the ceremony. How, when is that going to happen and how are they? That's probably what's going to happen this next episode. So yeah, I'm agreeing with you. They probably aren't going to do it this next episode, maybe the one after it.
Mm-hmm.
How many do we have? 6 or 8?
Six.
Okay, 6. I don't know why I thought someone was going to possibly give us 2 more, but 6. Yeah, so it's got to be by the 3rd episode already. When is it going to
Yeah.
be? I don't know, man. We got to take in these 6 episodes. All right. We'll see what happens in episode 3. That's a wrap up of Daryl Dixon. So, besides watching this, Renee, I would love to know what else you're watching and what else you recommend.
So I recently watched a new Netflix rom-com, Nobody Wants This, and I've heard several people that I look at to see what they like to watch and things have commented on how good it is and things. So I watched the first episode and it was like super short. These are like, I'm talking less than 30-minute episodes. They're quick. And I'm like, wait, what just happened? But it's such a cute story. It's Kristen Bell and Adam Brody. And she's a LA podcaster, kind of speaks her mind. She's an agnostic who meets a rabbi and they click. They just like click. And it's just such a cute story. It's so much fun. It's just, I binged it like in a very couple days because it was just, the short, and there's only 8 episodes, maybe 8 or 10. I forget. It's just not a lot of episodes either, but it's such a good story. Great actors, great Tova. I don't know how you say her last name from The Walking Dead. Tova Feldshuh. It's FeldshUH. She played
I don't remember
Deanna.
the name.
Yeah, Deanna.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. You know
Yeah.
what? It's so funny. I thought it was her, but then she looked different. I'm like,
Yeah,
"Wait,
well, it's
is
been
that
several
her?
years.
Or
Yeah, it's
is she
been
somebody
yeah.
else that looks like her?" You
Yeah, no,
know?
it's her.
So I could because that's when I first thought, "Oh, that's her." And then I'm like, "Wait, is that her?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that's her." And I'm like, "Wait, is it her?"
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, but it's been
questioning
several
myself.
years,
Yes.
since we
Yeah.
saw her as Deanna. But yeah, so she
Yeah.
plays Adam Brody's mom in this show, and yeah,
Yeah.
I just the his older brother. I can't think of the actor's name right now. I haven't seen. He's been in a lot of things, but I don't
Oh,
remember seeing him.
yes.
He's so
Yes.
funny. Yeah, he's just a funny guy, and yeah, it's just yeah. So I just really really enjoyed it, and I
Who
recommend that
he
one. Hmm.
Yeah, who he has on his speed dial is hilarious to
Yeah,
me, so without giving anything
yeah.
away, it is a very cute series, I couldn't agree more. I watched this, I really liked it, I did it within a couple 2 days
Yeah,
also. I'm like, "This is so good." I think one of the things that I really liked is that they are not super young, right?
yeah,
They're older
yeah.
couple. Not
It,
old, old. I don't mean older,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I think they're actually in their 40s, but they're playing 30s people. So I just
And
thought,
it
yeah.
the story is actually based on Erin. I think her name's Erin Foster is the creator. It's based on her
Mm.
actual relationship with her husband. Yeah,
Oh,
she
okay.
converted before they got married to
Yeah.
Judaism,
Yeah.
and so it's kind of loosely based on their interactions and how they came,
Yeah.
to be a couple and stuff. So I thought that was kind of fun.
Yeah. It was so great. And, I listen to Armchair Expert all the time. And they are, of course, Dax is married to Kristen Bell. So
Mm.
they were on the podcast, and I was just listening to it like a couple days ago. I had to watch it, listen to it in 2 parts. But so if you want to watch that, or if
Mhm.
you have watched it and you want to go listen to that podcast episode with them, they talk about, because they've been friends for a long time and they really respect one another. And she had to convince him to do this role, and now he's known as the sexy rabbi.
Yes, I love that.
And they talk about the kiss that they,
Mhm.
kisses, not kiss,
Yeah,
and just the relationship. And it's just very, it's really, I like it when I can listen to them too, talk about, their roles and how it came to be in certain scenes. So
yeah,
it was fun. So you should
yeah.
check
I'll have to
out the
check that out.
series and then check out the
Yeah,
podcast episode because it's really good.
yep. Yeah, and then we keep going through. We haven't watched a lot of new stuff because we're on in the middle of a couple series, but we are doing some horror movies. So we watched Urban Legend yesterday. I forgot about all the different people that are in that. Right now my brain just lost everybody, but Jared Leto and Alicia Witt. But it's all those familiar characters from that era. It's just about a murderer, serial killer acting out urban legends.
Mm,
And
yeah.
so yeah, but it's a good one. So that's about all the things recently I've watched
Yeah.
besides my series.
I was thinking about all your homework list. I'm like, she has a big homework list
I
to get through.
do.
She needs to watch Bates Motel, and she needs to watch, there was something else that you have to watch. I can't,
Yeah,
Alien,
aliens. Yes,
Bates
yes.
Motel. And why do I think there's another one that
I
you have
know.
to
I
watch?
was like, I thought there were three. Well, I'm doing Games of Thrones. I know that was one of mine, so I'm working on that one. That's
Yes.
that's a lot of
Yes.
episodes.
Yeah, it is. I know you're watching a lot. Okay, so have been a Love Is Blind fan. In the summer, I watched Love Is Blind UK, and it was really good.
Mhm.
And I've watched all the previous seasons of US Love Is Blind. So I'm sitting there flicking through what I'm going to watch next, and all of a sudden, Netflix tells you it's all Love Is Blind.
Yeah.
I'm like, why does it tell me Love Is Blind? I've already seen all Love Is Blind. I'm like, what? Another episode? I mean, another season? So I click on it. It's a new season, season 7. So I'm so excited. I haven't finished it. I've just started it. I'm in a couple episodes. So I'm hooked on that for right now. I'm sure I'll get tired and burnt out after a while, but I'm still enjoying it. It's really fun to see people fall in love sight unseen, as they say. Some of them do, some of them don't.
Mhm.
Some of them last, some of them don't last. But it's kind of nice that at least some people last, because
Mhm.
if you're watching The Bachelor or anything else,
Yeah.
hardly anybody ever lasts on those. So the odds are a little bit better in this favor. So, but I did watch 2 movies. One was Salem's Lot, and I didn't know that it was actually already coming out. I knew it was,
Mm-hmm.
we were anticipating it. It's on Max. It's with Lewis. Is it Lewis? Lewis Pullman, who is
Yeah,
Bill
I like
Pullman.
him.
Yeah. Did you watch this by chance?
Not
This
yet.
movie? Okay.
No.
So I watched it. It's funny. I liked it, but it's not super scary. It wasn't funny, but
Mm-hmm.
it did have this sort of comic undertone to it
Mm-hmm.
because you couldn't take it seriously. It
Mm-hmm.
was so silly, a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like super gory or horrific or anything
Mm-hmm.
like that. So I enjoyed it. I
Mm-hmm.
was fine with it. So, I'll say it's a decent movie. And so I also watched Wolves with Brad Pitt and George Clooney. I had seen that this was coming on, and I had
Mm-hmm.
also seen that Austin Abrams was in this.
Yeah,
So
I know. I
I
want
had
to see
seen,
it.
yeah, I'd seen the previews. I'm like, oh, I want to watch this. I thought it was really good. It's an action comedy action movie,
Yeah.
basically. They are both George Clooney and Brad Pitt are both like fixers.
Mm-hmm.
So when something happens, they come in to, if people are in the public eye or people are rich or whatever it is, they come in to clean the circumstances and make it like it never happened. But they're each called for the same one. And then they're like, well, this is my job. No, this is my job. And then they're like trying to one up each other, not let each other in on what's happening. So I don't want to give too much away, but yeah, Austin plays up.
That's not giving it away. It's in the trailer. It
It
tells.
is,
It tells what.
yes. Yeah. So he is the person who's supposed to be dead and they're supposed to clean it up. And he's not.
Yeah.
But I can tell you, I was so impressed with Austin.
Mm-hmm.
When you see it and you see the part where he goes off on this monologue and starts saying everything he's saying, it was so good. He plays the character so well. It's it's just really well done. So I think it was
Mm-hmm.
really well done. It was very entertaining and
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it. And I like seeing these two guys
Yeah.
back at it together. And so I thought it was good. So I would recommend that one.
And they're doing a sequel.
To that?
Hmm. They've already, yeah, yeah,
Oh,
because I guess Clooney and Pitt, they weren't very thrilled that it wasn't in theater. They're box office guys, right? So I guess they
yeah.
weren't too thrilled that Apple pulled it sooner than they thought and put it on the streaming or whatever. But obviously not too much because they agreed that everything I read was from reliable sources was that they had signed on for the sequel. So I mean, things can fall through or whatever. So we'll see.
Well, what is interesting is that it ends without showing you what happens to them. So
Uh-huh.
it kind of gives the ending
Yeah.
away. Also, you didn't really expect them
Yeah.
probably not to come back, but it left you with no specific ending.
Yeah.
You know,
That's probably why
they're
then they're
just
planning.
yeah, they're faced with something,
Mhm.
the both of them. So it's kind of like, oh, and so yeah, so we'll see how this number two goes. And I'd watch it. It was just a fun watch. I like
Yeah.
them too, so
Mhm.
it was good. And like I
Yeah.
said, Austin was just a good person to be in it because he's a
Yeah.
young guy. And there is a super long scene with him running through the streets in his underwear. And I thought, that's interesting. He's just running around and they're chasing him down. And so I thought, is this your role? Because I thought maybe that was all it was going to be, but no,
Mhm.
he comes in later, and so I was really happy for him in this role.
Yeah.
So wait, and I don't even know if I mentioned, but he's in The Walking Dead. So that's why we're talking about who he is. He played actually he was
Ron.
when yeah, he played Ron, but it was when when they were
Yeah.
all first
Mhm.
came to Alexandria. So yeah. All right. And so, friends out there, also, we have Screams in Focus. So, we have a Halloween series that gives you TV and movie recommendations, and also where we talk about all of our classics and new TV and horror out there. And the latest one that was just out, Renee was in it. We did Iconic Women in Horror. So you should check it out. It's a great episode. And we have two more coming out. So look for those on Tuesdays. And of course, Daryl Dixon episodes are coming out on Fridays. So
Mhm.
check it out. And be sure to follow Renee. Her links are in the show notes, and check out that article on the kiss. And yeah, so did you want to say anything else about that,
No, just
Renee?
I appreciate you always plugging my site. But yeah,
Why
Undead
not?
Walking, check us out. We try to cover a lot of stuff and just check it out. It's fun.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Renee. Thank you for
Thank you.
joining me today. I love it.
I know it's always so much fun.
Until next week.
Yeah.
All right. Friends out there, thank you so much for tuning in. We are so grateful you tuned in, and we hope something that we said today gave you a smile, a chuckle, some inspiration. Remember to follow Screens in Focus at screensinfocus.com. And please, please share this podcast with a friend. And just remember to keep watching, keep exploring, and keep those screens in focus. And we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.